It breaks my heart when I hear of Christians that are going to therapists and counselors to find help for themselves or for their marriages, and they're not getting the outcome. This is the consistent theme. We've talked with thousands of people here at Turnaround Marriage, and the consistent theme is we've tried this, we've tried that, and it didn't work. And honestly, it doesn't really surprise me anymore because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And here's the main reason why. The answers that are to be found from secular people that don't know the Lord are to dig deeper into the things that you've gone through. We need to go back into the childhood and relive those things that happened to you when you were 6 or 7. We need to rehash all those painful things that have happened early on in your marriage. We need to go through them. We need to talk about them ad nauseum over and over again. And we probably need to revisit them numerous occasions to find healing. The truth is, they don't really have any clue how to find healing. They don't. They don't. I had an amazing call with a couple yesterday, and they'd said, we've been going to these experts, and we went to the experts there for this breakdown that I had had, this mental breakdown, this crisis of faith. I'd gone there, and they said this, and I went there, and they went there, and they experienced that, and we talked through it. And I asked them the question, is it possible that what you went through a few years ago was actually leading you to the place of being on the phone with me today, and you guys getting the breakthroughs in your marriage, you guys rekindling that which seemed so distant and lost a few weeks ago? Is it possible that God had been using those things in you to shape you into the kind of man you need to be? Is it possible that it's softened you to be more tender and less angry with your children? Has it been a good thing that you've begun to realize that you didn't hold on to God, but that He held on to you? And the scales just began to come off their eyes, and I felt like the Spirit of God was just leading me in this moment. And they both said, yes, this is from God. Yes, it was a gift. The hardest thing, friends, that they felt shame over, the thing that they had gone through, and it wasn't fun, but the thing that they had been trying to find answers to, the shame that they surrounded with, that there was something wrong with them, that they needed to go to the experts and revisit this over and over and over again. But actually, when they looked at it through God's eyes together with us, as they began to see that it was a wonderful blessing of God. God's not the author of sin and pain, but He uses all of it for His glory and His purposes. Romans 8, it tells us, friends, and we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the likeness of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those He predestined, He also called. Those He called, He also justified. Those He justified, He also glorified. Clearly talking about how God holds on to His people. And He said to me on this call, guys, no one's ever told me that before. I never saw it that way before. And it was like it was a gift for them to see the truth, that it was a gift. And if it was a gift, what should you do with that but to give thanks? And doesn't the Bible actually tell us that too? To give thanks in all circumstances? It does. And what if some of the things that you've gone through in your life and the things in your marriage, instead of beating yourselves up and saying what was wrong with us, maybe we should be looking at them to see them as a gift. And friends, I'm here to tell you, if you're out there and you're a believer and you're going to worldly answers to find the healing, you will not find healing there. And I will say to people all the time, your husband's not going to heal you. The therapist is not going to heal you. I can't heal you, but there is one who can. And a lot of times, friends, you need a godly, wise person that can walk through the stuff with you to clear it, to look at it from a different angle, and to actually give thanks for it. Some of the hardest things. And like I said, there's a lot of things in my lifetime that we're very forthcoming about, both with our clients and also with these videos that we put out there and material. There is a lot of things that I went through, that Rachel and I went through, that I would never, ever, ever want to go through again. But yet when I look back, there's not one thing that I would change. I give thanks for those hardest moments because it shaped me into the man I am and the man I'm becoming. And I can look back and know in faith that God is the one that's held on to me. So guys, imagine if you're out there today and you're wondering, is there hope? Is there hope for my marriage? It doesn't seem like anything can even change. When you start to begin to give thanks for those hard things, I'm here to tell you the flood of healing comes for God's people. And usually we have found, again, we believe that God's called us to what we do. Usually it's going to take someone other than your spouse that's calling that out and pointing that out, giving you that fresh perspective, and that's exactly what we do. So what I encourage you to do is see that path that begins at turnaroundmarriage.live and watch our free masterclass that's looking at some of those challenges in marriage that maybe you've not thought of it, about the way that we're talking about those in the 5 simple shifts that Christians use to turn their marriage around quickly. This could be the beginning of the steps of a path of healing that are far greater and far beyond what you could imagine. Just talking with some of our other clients last evening, it was clear in just a few weeks the breakthroughs that were beginning to happen, the things that actually seemed impossible, the miraculous was taking place in their relationships. Guys, I believe wholeheartedly, I am massively confident, not just what we do, but much more so in the one who does the healing. You will not find healing in going to pay for that therapist, friends. But there is one whose name is Jesus, who has healing in abundance for his people. God also says in his word that it is for freedom that Christ has set you free. Do not take those chains upon you again. Some of you are out there and you are already free, and you're picking up those chains and putting them on. It's time to lay them down. Check out turnaroundmarriage.live.